So Amber's out of the house at the moment, so I figured this would be a good opportunity to force myself to do something different, because, a big change in routine means it's time for your brain to, your brain is forced to try something different. It's like when I got forced into work, it was like, well, you're fucked now, you may as well do something different. And, yeah. So, I have been exceptionally quiet on pretty much everything. Discord, Twitter, Telegram, fucking art, YouTube, etc, etc. And I thought I'd give a bit of an explanation of what I've been up to, or more like what I haven't been up to, as well as my plans for the future. So what has happened at the moment is I got burnt out on art. I'm just kind of bored with myself, and oh fuck, it can just get very, very intense just because I'm a little piss baby and I have a very low capacity for doing tense, stressful work. Not to imply that doing art for other people is stressful, but if you I'm an ass, but you'll get what I mean. I can only dedicate so many spoons to the one fucking thing. I ended up finishing off editing the Resident Evil content and the Republic Commando content. I've still got to export the last Republic Commando video, but I'm hoping to have all the episodes up this week so I can just put it down on the fucking table and be like, yep, done. I'll just step away from it without without delaying any kind of gratification or anything like that. And as for Resident Evil, I need to export the last couple of episodes, upload those, and then get back to recording it again. So I also had a Warframe addiction. I don't know if it's an actual fully fledged addiction where I needed to roll up my fucking sleeves and just put the Warframe right in my veins, or whether it was just one of those compulsions because it was really interesting. It was kind of like when I was playing Mass Effect a few years ago. It was like all I did for 3 months during the uni holidays, and then afterwards I went, what is life? But yeah, I finished pretty much all the content that's available, like quest-wise. So I'm just waiting for the next one, kind of doing something else, and I figured I'd use the opportunity to try to put myself back on track. I managed to get a flat fucking tire by driving over a screw. My tax return is supposed to come in this week, so I'm finally going to be able to buy myself some of the really good chicken nuggets. Oh, fucking chicken nuggets. And, pay off things here and there. And finally, in terms of medication, my antidepressants have been increased, which I feel has actually helped me substantially, especially since, I don't know whether seasonal affective disorder is an actual thing, but, the thing where it's dark out and you're like, oh, it's winter, I don't want to do anything, I just want to die. Yeah, that's been really holding me back. And, in terms of HRT, things are going pretty damn good. The main thing I've noticed is that I'm going to have to start wearing a crop top because my nipples are just like, hey! Get it? Because they point. They point. Oh good, that's not a hair in my tea. So in terms of my plans for the future when it comes to creativity and arts, job front in real life is not that important. It's straightforward, get a fucking job. Maybe get a fursuit. Maybe go to a furry con. Still don't let your parents know just how much of a fucking disappointment you are. Anyway, I'm basically looking at changing the way that I do my videos. So, I'm talking specifically about the Let's Plays. And we can consider breaking up what I do as a preface into long plays and short plays. So the short plays are just the one-off episodes, like that playlist, where I'll do something once. It doesn't necessarily have any continuity. I might come back to it, but it's a self-contained thing that you can just watch once and go, yep, I'm fucking done. And long plays like Resident Evil and Republic Commando, where I intend to play from start to finish in its entirety. So, the long plays are what I'm looking at changing when I start recording new videos. I'm going to keep the videos as they, like the series as they are, in their respective formats until they finish. But currently, I split up every video 10 minutes for an action oriented, 30 minutes for dialogue story heavy, and I have a trigger warning, a title card, an intro, an outro, and then an end card. And then I put that into a playlist for people to watch. So my reasons for looking at reassessing are, when I was playing through Republic Commando, I found that even with the timer, things wouldn't stop in a good plot area. For example, between the second last and the last videos, at the end of the second last video is the huge fucking info dump for the last video, like the mission briefing before the mission happens, and I cut after the mission briefing. And because I don't like recording intros and outros after the video's recorded, I want it all authentic on the spot. That means that if I have a set intro and outro, then I don't have any flexibility to change where things are, because I would really love to have that mission briefing in the last episode to just have a nice self-contained, here's the last hurrah. But because I was like, okay, I'll do it next time, I couldn't do that. And as you'll notice in Republic Commando, there were a couple of episodes that don't even have an intro and an outro, because I went up to 30 minutes with that many deaths, mistakes, frustrations, that I couldn't really accommodate for them. Like, I couldn't predict how much time that I was actually spending on it. Like, I've been recommended by Lizzie and Alan, you have a timer in front of you that says 10 minutes, and when you hit 10 minutes, you go, okay, that's it, I'm done. But that doesn't allow for any flexibility. So my thought was, I'll record videos in batches still, but the first episode will have the trigger warning, the title card, and an intro, and the last episode will have an outro and the end card. And everything in between is just different cuts at appropriate times of about 10-minute chunks that I'd put in a playlist that are intended to be watched as a series. So you can just, like, keep up with where you are, rather than uploading, like, an hour and a half worth of gameplay. Everything's broken up into manageable chunks. Because for me, being required to dedicate a lot of attention to something, or being required to dedicate attention for something I'm not extremely interested in or bored of, it becomes very painful. And I figure, people with ADHD, shorter attention spans as well, or people who are Asperger's or autistic like me, would also go, I would really like to watch this thing, but I can only watch in small chunks. Like, for example, sitting down and watching a 2-hour movie that isn't in a cinema can be quite painful for me, because I want to sit, I want to fiddle, I'm in my home environment. But watching, like, 4 30-minute episodes of the one thing, I can do that, because I'm free to stop and leave at any time. Now, the issue I find with that is that I'd be moving away from what I'm currently doing, and I'd have to change my playlist structure. So I have a Let's Play, like all my Let's Play videos, in everything is a Let's Play, and because it's episodic with an intro and an outro, you can just pick whichever episode and then start watching it. I would have to stop doing that, because every individual episode would be just a chunk of a full story. It would be like so as compared to watching a TV series like Invader Zim, where you can just sit down wherever you want, it'd be more like reading a novel. Like, you can't just pick up a novel and start reading it 2/4, 5/8, 6/9, nice, and, you know, expect to understand the full story. So it would make the video series harder to get into. So I'm kind of torn on that. And what really brought this up to me was I was recording Scan Sombra for Fever the other day, and as you can already tell, with the headset on, I can't fucking tell the time. I can't tell how much time has passed. And then the pacing in games is different, so if I spend 10 minutes playing Scan Sombra, and I want it to be in 10-minute chunks, then it's I'd have to either mutilate the gameplay itself to only jump to the parts which are scary, which would ruin the effective narrative of the game, or I'd have to have a 10-minute episode where nothing's happening. And to dress up like 10 minutes of me just looking around going, oh, scan the wall, scan the roof, scan that, and dress it up as a, hi, welcome to this. Oh, we'll see you next time where we'll be doing the exact same thing and nothing's going to be happening. I personally find it disgusting. I would not qualify that as an episode. So that's also part of why I'm looking at treating each part of a Let's Play as a chunk of an overall story rather than its own self-contained episode. Like back in the day on YouTube when they had to split up like 30-minute anime episodes into 3 different chunks, and they'd only have the intro and the outro, like the opening credits and the closing credits on part 1 and part 3 respectively. Yeah, like that. Oh wow, I've been going for 15 minutes. I'm really sorry, everyone. So, yeah, I don't know if I have already said this, because I'm saying this over quite a few takes, because fuck writing scripts! That no changes will be occurring to current Let's Plays as they are. I'll only be looking at doing new ones. And I'm also looking at just pretty much going through the one game until its completion. Because I've been working on Resident Evil for about 18 months. And I'm not really getting anywhere with it. It's a big fucking game. And chopping and changing which episode I'm working on, initially I was convinced that, you know, you give everyone a lot of variety, so then they'll come for the games and then they'll stay for you. But then, that doesn't... You don't get anywhere with 6 different stories at once, so, I'm definitely going to take the advice of Wuzzle that I was given ages ago and just probably stick to the 1 or 2 games, probably 1 for Fever, probably 1 for long plays, and then I might just have a sprinkle of Let's Plays to break it up in the middle. So, yeah. That is what I have been up to. That is what I'm planning to do. And I think my tea's actually cold. It's tepid is what it is. It tastes like shit. I guess I will give the generic outro of thanks to everyone who's been sticking with me, even though I haven't really been putting anything up at all. And just thanks to everyone who's been supportive of me, and thanks to everyone that I can call friend. Because making friends is hard, and having friends makes life that much better. Also, this doesn't count as a Life Lemons, because Life Lemons is when things is actually happening. Things is actually happening. Things are actually happening. And this is just a, hey, where the fuck have you been, Molly? Have you got a note from your mum? Alright. So, I'm never really good at saying see ya. So, yeah. Yeah, bye.